When people find that out, the first thing they're like, you don't act autistic. And I'm like, I had to go through a lot of stuff to learn how to mask my idiosyncrasies.
And that's the thing about Jerry Seinfeld. At age 60, he's still figuring out who he is. For example, in recent years, as he's learned more about autism spectrum disorders, he sees it in himself.
I think on a very drawn-out scale, I think I'm on the spectrum.
Why? What are the markers if I were sitting here analyzing you?
You're never paying attention to the right things. Basic social engagement is really a struggle. I'm very literal. When people talk to me and they use expressions, sometimes I don't know what they're saying. But I don't see it as dysfunctional. I just think of it as an alternate mindset.
I haven't told many people this, but in my head, I've got thousands of secret worlds all going on all at the same time. I'm also autistic. People tend to diagnose autism with really specific checkbox descriptions, but in reality, there's a whole variation as to what we're like. But if you think about it, what is normal? What does it mean? Imagine if that was the best compliment you ever received. Wow, you are really normal. All in all, I want to trade my autism and my imagination for the world. Because I am autistic, I've presented documentaries for the BBC, I'm in the midst of writing a book, I'm doing this is fantastic.
It's not like a disability, it's more of like an advantage. Because like, even though in some places you might not be as enabled as average people, but if you have autism, there's places where you can be really, really good at than average people.
It's not as black and white as people think in these situations. There's a lot of areas in between where I'm better at this, or I'm better at this and worse at this, I'm better at this and worse at this. It's not necessarily good or bad, it's just different. My brain works differently than other people.
I don't know, I always get the you don't look autistic thing. Autism is like an internal thing, not an external thing. No one looks autistic.
I learned that there's a lot of different kinds of autism. I think it's common in the world to assume that it's on the external side of how you appear, just like Down syndrome. And so it's easy for those people that don't understand like disabilities of how it's easy for them to be on that spectrum. But anyone can fall under the line of autism, even if it's not on the external, but it can be on the internal and you wouldn't know it.
She played the awkward girl who hid behind the glasses in the blockbuster Steel Magnolias.
We should all be rejoicing.
But this morning, Daryl Hannah reveals that shyness on screen wasn't all an act.
I was shy.
In People magazine hitting newsstands today, the actress says as a child, doctors diagnosed her with autism. And because of the disorder, she has suffered from debilitating shyness most of her life. She tells the magazine, "I've never been comfortable being the center of attention. It's always freaked me out." Hannah says even as her career took off, she couldn't bring herself to do talk shows or attend movie premieres, saying, "Not because I was above it, but because I was terrified."
It's something that she has managed better as she's gotten older because she's much more confident.
As a child, Hannah says she rocked incessantly, a common symptom of autism, and she says she still does. Doctors even recommended she be institutionalized, but she says her school teacher mother refused. Hannah found comfort in watching old movies and eventually moved to Hollywood, making a splash playing that beautiful blonde mermaid.
Acting is not a surprise career move for an individual with autism. The predictability that an acting environment will bring is highly desirable for an individual who's on the autism spectrum.
That, and it has also given me a drive to work harder to understand things, because I had to do that through school too. I guess the best thing is I have it gives me a quirky sense of humor, like I just say funny things.
I wish that people understood that it's not just like male people, but that women too can like have autism, It just may not be as common, but that women still can have autism.
Autism is simply a different way of thinking and seeing and, and interacting with one's world. I view autism as realness. I wished I could go back to that little Marinike and give her a hug and let her know that she was just fine the way she was and that she was going to be all right.
Hi, I'm Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest man, and I've got autism.
In 2016, I was personally diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. So I have autism, and I'm coming to you today like this because I believe that autism is my superpower.
I think a big part of it, as someone who's AFAB with autism, I think there's a big thing where it's like autism is young, like little boys with autism. That's like the only people, like that's what everyone sees autism as. And I just wish that there was more research into like AFAB people with autism, and there was more research into adults with autism too. And I think a lot of times, like even my own parents will sometimes like look at me and be like, oh, autism means like you're like 4 years younger in your brain, rather than autism means you think differently, which is what it is. Autism is thinking differently, not thinking younger.
My mother taught me how to drive. I was sort of a late. I was actually 27 when I got my driver's license. I just enjoy doing it. Yeah, of course, that's the Bank of Forest right there. Hey, Shelby Welby. Hey, Nat the cat. Hey, RC. Hey, KH.
He comes to the bank every day at 2 o'clock, makes his rounds.
Hey, Big Debbie. Hey, Tricky Nick.
He really brightens our day at the bank.
Hey, Jan with the plan.
Hey, Don, darling. Don is a very loving person, and we enjoy seeing him every day. He's just a lot of fun.
When people think of a disease, they think of something that is degenerative and that will hurt you and kill you. Autism is not a disease. It is a developmental disability. It's about living our best possible lives with this condition.
It's okay for things to be hard. It's okay to reset. If things aren't working, it's okay to try something different. It's okay to have a support system. It's okay to want help. It's okay not to fit, and it's okay to want to fit. It's okay to want to say in how your life goes, even if a lot of it is stuff you can't control. It's okay to want to be more than what you are now, and it's okay to struggle with things you're supposed to be good at. It's okay to be you and to have the brain and the body that you have.
I think if that 10-year-old girl could see what her life was going to be now, she wouldn't believe it. She would think it was some fairy tale or something out of a movie. I can't believe it because it almost seems like a dream at times that I've gotten to where I am, that I have a master's degree, that I've started my own business. And I also can believe it because I worked for it. And so I'm willing to give myself the credit that I think I deserve, which has always been something I've also struggled with.
Your parents told us that you're very proud of your autism.
That, I believe, is the reason why I am in college and I am so successful. It is the rise as to my love for math and science and astronomy, and it's the reason why I care. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten this far.
Miss Montana surrounded by more than 50 other beauty queens on stage, all hoping to become Miss America. But for most of her early life, Alexis Weinman spent her time alone.
I was very quiet because I couldn't say anything right. I was picked on for the way I spoke. I really didn't have any friends.
Her parents knew there was something wrong, but their small town of Cut Bank, Montana, didn't have the resources to help them figure out what it was. And then at the age of 11, after years and years of searching for answers, a doctor finally put a name to Weinman's condition: pervasive development disorder, a mild form of autism. Typically, children with autism are very intelligent, but very quiet, socially awkward, and they don't respond appropriately to interactions with other people. Typically, they don't end up becoming beauty queens either. But Weinman says one day she simply decided not to let her condition define her.
I learned to really accept myself and my autism, and I realized that My autism isn't what defines me. I define what is autism. I joined the cross-country team, the cheerleading squad, speech and drama, and I started making a lot of friends just by getting involved and pushing myself.
She entered the Miss Montana pageant as a way to prove to herself she could do anything she set her mind to.
By the time I graduated, I had done so many things I thought I'd never be able to do, nothing stopping me from trying. And I fell in love with the program. Good thing, too, because I won. I wasn't expecting to win, but it's funny how things walk out sometimes.
That win put her on the national stage in Las Vegas.
Miss Montana, Alexis Weinman.
Weinman made it as far as the top 15 and won the America's Choice Award for garnering the most online votes. She says the whole experience has been an amazing ride.
It's been a challenge, but I've enjoyed it immensely. There are times when I do feel a bit overwhelmed, but those are going to happen in life anyway, whether you're going to be in Miss America or not. So I'm willing to take all of that on.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.
Oh my gosh, I am honored to be answering this question right now. For me, I was diagnosed at 22 months old. Every single person upon my diagnosis, I was nonverbal, I had no eye contact, and I had no social cues at all. So for me, coming from being diagnosed at 22 months to sitting in this chair right now, being able to speak and come on Big Brother, what I say to everyone is, everyone can do this. Never give up on your dreams, never back down from a challenge. And if something's hard, that's okay. It's okay because it's going to make you stronger in the end. For me, I have had to work harder than everybody else to get to this point, and so many people wrote me off. My mother calls me a miracle on a daily basis because me sitting here was not the plan. It just wasn't. So many people helped me along my journey. I am honored to even be sitting here right now in front of all of you being able to speak on this. But for me, my autism has made me stronger. It has absolutely made me the strong, confident woman that I am today, and I am proud as hell of it. And I'm proud as hell of the journey that I've been on, because for me, it's my journey. And I'm proud of that. So be proud of your journey. Be proud of every obstacle you have to overcome, and be okay with the obstacles happening because they make you stronger in the end.
Sometimes in our society, we don't tolerate differences very well. It's my hope that as people learn more about autism, they become more accepting and to some degree less afraid of it.
I hope in the future my kids will be able to accomplish everything that they want to accomplish.
Rookie, can you tell us a joke? Why is a chicken laying on an egg? Why? Because he's laying on a sandwich.
I want people to know that kids with autism are awesome. Just because they're autistic doesn't discount their ability for greatness.
With my autism, I'm in particularly funny. I have brilliant ideas that no one necessarily has thought of. You take that brilliance and that funniness and you combine that, and you take something that is the most rarest thing in socialness. Brilliant, funny people.
I went to Fermilab, the big physics place. I sat down with scientists there, and then let me tell you, there's Asperger's all over that place. It's like, oh, let's go spot. If autism didn't exist, it would be, maybe, we'd still be living in caves. A brain can be more cognitive, or a brain can be more social emotional. Well, who do you think's gonna be in the back of the cave chipping a rock to figure out how to make a stone spear, or figuring out how to make a bow and arrow? It's not gonna be the social yakety yaks around the campfire.
Autism has made me a more understanding, open-minded, accepting individual.
I mean, your life changes in a lot of challenging ways, but a lot of good ways too. It's made us all better people, really. We are better people, and Carson taught us how to be better.
Neon red crayon. P.S. Next stop, the North Pole.
I guess if I had to say something to someone that was like me, I would say, don't be afraid to be you. Because we are told that there's something wrong with us because we're different. There's nothing wrong with us, we're just different. And that's okay. It's pretty cool, really.
What I love about my autism is the fact that it made me really interested in the things I like, and it helps me like stay focused on what matters to me, and it also really just like motivates me to think I have like a superpower. It's really just a big, huge thing, part of my life that I feel like helps me be who I am. Because like if I didn't have it, I probably wouldn't be as good with the stuff I'm good with, and I probably would just average. I just think it's really great because it just helps me be who I am.
I would just love to see every autistic person living up to their fullest potential, whatever that is for them. Success is about your child growing up to be the best version of themselves that they can be, whoever and whatever that is.